we'll start by cracking this one, shall we, Shawn?
Indeed we shall.
All right. Here we go. For you and for me. All right. Cheers, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, here we are for episode 12 of the Tell Me a Story podcast. I am Tom Daly, here with my good friend, the Doctor of History, Shawn McCarthy. And we're going to battle it out right now. Who's more Irish is the name of this show. That's what we're going to talk about. Why we're doing this podcast is so you get to know us and our personalities a little bit. And probably by now you already have a favorite. And yes, it's probably Shawn.
Probably not. You know.
But yeah, so we're going to talk.
Nobody likes the guy that's just sort of, kind of steady. You know what I mean? They like the guy that kind of, brings the fire, right?
People like a storm.
They do. They do.
Exactly.
Oh,
you
sure.
need a guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But nobody wants what they need, Dave. Nobody wants what they need.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. I can tell. All right.
That's it, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Well, it's the day before St. Patrick's Day. And if you're watching this, it's probably Easter Sunday morning. Who knows what time you're going to see this.
Yeah, it could be.
Right now, we're recording this. It is the day before St. Patrick's Day. March the 16th. Last night, we had a play, didn't we?
We sure did.
Yeah.
And what a play it was.
It was great.
Yeah.
Is He Awake? A Last Toast to Old Matt Daly, a play that I wrote based on old guys that I remember growing up in Barnaby River, who had all sorts of stories, and some of the stories were pretty crazy and wild. And it centers around an Irish wake. An old guy dies, and you think it's going to be a somber affair. It is not. It is a party. It's a fun play. We've had great numbers for this one.
Oh yeah, by far and away, it's the most successful play we've ever done in the 2 years that we've been running. So
yeah, and that means a lot to me too. And
3 years, I guess, we've been running now. Yeah.
Yep. And we do this one completely independent. The Irish Festival passed on it. I'm 13, 14 months now, I think. Still waiting to hear back if they want the play. I'm guessing they don't want it. But yeah, in true Irish form, we did not give up, and we produced this one on our own. Yeah, I've never been happier. This one means the world to me, and we haven't seen the last of it either. I have a good feeling we'll be doing this one for years to come.
100%.
So, yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about ourselves today, 2 of our favorite topics, right?
Sure.
All right, I need another sip of this. My favorite whiskey. Jameson. Oh, thank God the tariff doesn't involve Ireland.
No,
I do feel bad. Maker's Mark is a great whiskey. Jack Daniels is shit. Gentleman Jack is good. If you do love your bourbon, right now you can't get bourbon in this country. As far as I know, maybe there's some rogue provinces that you can. The independent liquor stores in British Columbia, I think, still have some kicking around. My sources out there tell me.
Right.
And yeah, but if there was ever tariffs against Irish, which would include Guinness and Jameson, I would be going full IRA on every politician in this country. Oh, God. So, yeah, my heart bleeds for anybody that actually does like their bourbon is caught up in this mess. But thankfully, my favorite is still on the shelf, and I don't need to go crazy and commit crimes. So we're going to talk about our upbringing, which is Irish. Who's more Irish? Probably Shawn. I think you might have a little bit more, maybe not.
I mean, genetically, maybe.
Genetically, maybe. Yeah, I make up for it by how much money I've spent on this stuff.
There you go.
And
more Irish by disposition.
Living in Barnaby. The most Irish community.
That's right.
In New Brunswick. More Irish than Chatham. I
think it's one of the most highest Irish per capita in Canada.
It is.
I think it is, yeah.
All right, it is, yeah.
At least that's what it says on the sign going into it.
That's what it says. Yeah. If it's on a sign, it must be true,
right?
It
must be. Yes.
If it's on a wooden piece of plywood with no plaques and no
one would put that up there and just lie.
Yeah. No one just puts a sign on the side of the road and lies.
Exactly.
No, not in this place. Anyway, so yeah, grew up in Barnaby River. I did little tiny place just outside of Nelson, where this guy grew up.
Yeah.
And also very Irish.
And I mean, you know, my ancestors, at least my dad's side of the family, well, half of my dad's side of the family came from Barnaby as well.
That's right, yeah. This guy's related to the original Long Dinny.
That's right. And Short Dinny.
And Short Dinny. Long Dinny McCarthy and Short Dinny McCarthy.
I'm closer to Short Dinny than I am to Long Dinny.
Okay, even though he is long.
Yeah,
6'5", 6'6".
Right.
Some say 6'8". Some
Yeah,
people, he says, I'm 6'5". Like, he's lying. He's 6'8".
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See, because of wrestling, our weights and heights and everything is out of proportion. So
Way out of proportion.
we've been lied to all our life.
That's it.
And
I'm a real 6'5", but I'm a gimmick 6'8".
He's a gimmick 6'8", for sure. He's a gimmick 6'8". Yeah. Yeah, I'm a gimmick 180 right now. I'm a gimmick 180 pounds, which is not true at all. Yeah, so anyway, we had a lot of the similar humor. Our backgrounds are both very Irish Catholic,
Sure.
when you say.
Yeah,
Which
no
was,
question.
No question. Which was the inspiration for the play, which we just did as well. All sorts of fun with that. Now, going deeper into your family, do you remember, like, Shawn, your grandparents or great-grandparents, or I guess it'd be your grandparents, talking about Ireland or stories that they had heard or bits of folklore, superstition? It must be some superstition for sure.
Oh, probably, yeah. I mean, I think there was, I remember, I think it was in grade 8, we had to do like a paper on, you know, some story from our family. And I remember, you know, getting the stories from both sets of my grandparents. My mom's dad had passed away by that time. My mom's mom told me all about like she was a Mahoney or a Mahoney, if you're so inclined. But then her mom was a Hogan. So, you know, I got all those stories. So Michael Hogan came here. Actually, I guess got some land from Joe Kennard.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
The savior of the Irish.
Indeed.
Joe Kennard, who I like to play from time to time, who owned Middle Island.
That's
and,
right.
Yeah.
So we get some land on the northwest from Joe Kennard, but on the way over, paid $1 for a rat's thigh. He was so hungry.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
$1? That's a lot of money, too, at
was,
that time.
yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
And this is not like a turkey leg. We're talking about a rat's thigh.
Yeah.
So, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
They say.
So they're literally eating the rats
Yeah.
on the fucking ship.
Yeah, they're catching them, butchering them, and selling out the parts. Yeah.
Oh, my God. No, that's brutal. Yeah. When did your family come over? Do you know what year it was? Or?
So Michael come over during the famine, but the McCarthys, Dinny and Honora, come over in 1830. So we're coming up on 200 years.
Same as the Dailies.
Yeah.
1830 is the year that gets tossed around. So that's a good 17 years before the famine,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So things probably aren't great in Ireland, but I don't think it's fully nosedive the way
right.
it has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So interesting stuff for sure. Growing up, what was St. Patrick's Day like in your household?
I mean, it was a lot of, again, going to church, and then, of course, going to the St. Patrick's Day, whatever was going on, in Nelson, whether it was at the church or, I don't think it was going on in the church basement when I was a kid. It was probably at the school. So that was probably, where we went and what we did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a lot of memories of St. Patrick's Day growing up. I think we get some like muffins with green frosting or something like that. Or whatever it was. And I hated the food back then. The corned beef and cabbage. I still hate it. Corned beef and cabbage. Can't stand it. And the stew, most of it looks like a pile of shit and tastes like a pile of shit. It's not, unless you.
No, sure.
It's
not great.
It's not great. Yeah. No, you really got to gimmick it up or whatever. And if you're going to make, like, as we know from the fudge I made yesterday, historically accurate recipes, sometimes lacking in flavor and ingredients because people were using whatever they could at that time.
Of course.
So, yeah. I don't care. If I'm making stew, I'm putting some garlic in it. And
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Sue me. Call me an Italian. I don't care at this point. But yeah, you need to get that flavor out there. Right. So we were going to Nelson School, of course. St. Patrick's Day was a big deal. Everybody was celebrating all things Irish. And that's the funny thing, too. We might as well dive right in. We're in Miramichi, New Brunswick, and this is the home of the Irish Festival.
That's
isn't
true.
it? Yeah.
Founded by your uncle.
That's right, and that's by proxy. We heard a lot about the Irish.
Yeah.
Farrell McCarthy, my uncle by marriage, dear Farrell, I do love him dearly. The guy who, started the Irish Festival, married to my lovely Aunt Edna, the kindest person in the world.
Absolutely.
Farrell started that way back in 1984, and it was the founding father of the Irish Festival. Because no one was into the Irish Festival more than him, and I think by proxy, the Dailies felt like, oh God, this guy's so into it. We have to at least pretend we're as passionate about it as he is.
Sure, yes.
And so Farrell can have fun too. He's Irish music and Irish the comedy and some of the really fun St. Patrick's Day concerts I remember under Farrell. Hal Roach coming here. Do you remember that guy? Stand-up comedian from Ireland? Yeah, his show at Jameson Hill. That is my fondest memory from any of the Irish festivals.
Oh, really?
I have no idea what year it was, but it was back in the day, and that guy was hilarious. He filled that big bowl of an auditorium. And again, the history and all the lore and stuff like that. That's the other thing, is the folklore and stories and stuff like that. For me, that's the most appealing in the way.
Sure.
Not big on the Paddy Wackery, I gotta say.
No, of course. Yeah.
I was supposed to wear green for this, and I realized I don't own a single article of green, so I dressed like this.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And so yourself, Shawn, does have a green shirt, but it is from the gathering of the McCarthy clan back in 99, is that so?
99, yeah.
I have no clothes from 1999 that fits me. Wow.
That's it. Actually, this I think is my dad's shirt. I don't think he ever wore it. So
okay.
That's it. I got it from I think I got it from home because I had to give the opening of last year's Irish Festival, so I needed to find something to wear. So we dug this out of mothballs.
I like how your dad never wore it, 'cause my dad would never wear a T-shirt either.
Yeah.
I think he said one time, any man that wears a T-shirt never worked a day in his life. I wear T-shirts 99% of the time. So.
Well, I think Dad had a golf shirt that I think he wore a little bit more.
Okay. You want the collar. They all want the collar that they can wear to church.
Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah. That's it.
Can't wear that round collar. That's too Protestant. Anyway, those were a big deal. They did the dailies one year too. I can't remember what year it was, but what do? You were supposed to go on March or something?
Yeah, I think we were we headed the family parade and all of that. And I remember it was a long process. It wasn't something that started. That was just sort of that weekend. Dad and a number of the other McCarthys were all kind of getting together on a regular basis before this and kind of planning the reunion and talking to people from,
so organization, that's something the Irish do very well.
Well, there you go. Maybe. But
no, I didn't know that it takes that long.
We did that year for sure, because I remember Dad talking to people from Wisconsin and all over, because we had a branch of our family that went there. Again, like a lot of people, just to go out and to the lumber woods out in Wisconsin, and so
it's a long way to go.
It was, but again, opportunity, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Now, my family were Boston Irish, and then they went further south, Florida and Texas, places like that. And that's all on my mom's side anyway. But actually my dad's side too. There's that Boston crowd there. A bunch went there too. So Irish Festival, did you go to any of them growing up? Because I got to say, I didn't start going to like I said, I went to that concert ever, but the whole festivities.
I think this was the first one.
99
was the first one I would have gone to, and I would have been 14 at that point. So
14. Yeah. Right. Because anyway, so for me too, Irish stuff. I love the folklore and the mythology. I go deep dive into that or whatever, because I think that was really cool. And some of the artwork as well. I have a Celtic knot tattoo and a triskel on my back, and things like that, shamrock on my calf and stuff like that. So I definitely do love the artwork side of things, and the comedy as well, which was an inspiration for the play, Father Ted, that hilarious show from Ireland back in the day. Do you have any favorite media to come out of Ireland? Movies, music?
I don't mean I've again that's kind of old school, but like I really liked Tommy Makem and those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the old
You
traditional.
like the old traditional stuff, yeah.
Because my grandparents had a record player, and there was
nice.
Kitty O'Shea, and all the all those ones.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot of. I think it was later on I got into like the Dubliners. I liked.
That's true. They're good. They're
Found
great.
the Dubliners, and of course the Pogues are my
indeed.
all-time favorite. The Pogues whiskey's pretty good too. I've had that. Have you tried that?
I don't think I have.
No, it's not very easy to get. I don't even know if you can get it here in Canada or not, because my beautiful darling wife got it for me over in Sweden when we were there. So how about that? And great whiskey, worth checking out. Another Irishman too, Conor McGregor.
That's true. That's true.
Proper
Yes.
12.
Yes.
Big fan of that. Like the bottles. Some of those green bottles are those we washed out and used for the play. Ripped the label off so we wouldn't have to pay him a trademark. And it's the old time cork that you can pull up like that.
I remember too growing up. There was I remember a documentary. I want to say it was like '94 or something about the Great Famine. And I remember watching that, and it was done in Ireland, and it referenced the festival in Chatham.
Oh, really?
Just very briefly. Just among the festivals like in North America, and kind of the legacy of immigration and all that. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, and I'm trying to think, like my grandfather was, again, not in the paddywhackery at all. I don't think I ever see him wore anything green. He dressed like in tweed coats and fedora hats with a little feather and stuff like that.
Right.
But he had these quirks for sure. And I remember going to Dixie Lee Fried Chicken, and he never used the word fries for French fries.
Okay.
So, like, of course, you say fish and chips, but he said chips for everything. Right. So he'd be like, I want a bucket of chicken, large chips. And they're like, we don't have chips. They're like, hell you don't. They're right there. And stuff like that. So, I remember that being a quirk, that he always said chips rather than...
Right.
Yeah.
My grandparents didn't eat French fries, so
No, there you go.
That's it.
There you go.
It was potatoes
It's too
or
French.
nothing.
There you go. Potatoes got to be boiled.
Exactly.
Boiled for hours. The potatoes have to suffer like our people did.
That's right. That's
Sometimes you don't even have potatoes. You just had the water they're boiled in.
right.
Because the fucking English took the potatoes.
My uncle and I brought him a pizza one time, and I remember my grandparents looking at it like, what the hell is this?
Oh, God. Yeah. Wow. I can imagine. What is the story with the old guy going to the Chinese restaurant getting asked if he wanted rice or whatever?
I don't
Do you know this?
Yeah.
Who was it? I feel like it was Barry who was telling me. Or some of his family. Crap.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, old guy wants a potato or something as a side. I'm like, we don't have potatoes there, and we just have rice. And rice, what do you think I am, a prisoner of war? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're in a Chinese restaurant, sir, so...
Yeah. Well, that's right.
I might be telling the story wrong, but I remember it somewhere along those lines.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Creepy Dave says I'm right,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Tom's drinking, so mind like a steel trap. The memories come flooding back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If this was 10 a.m. and I was sober, I couldn't remember my last name. But, yeah, fun times. But again, yeah, that older generation, I definitely do miss them. The crowd that inspired the play that we just did. And,
Of course. That's it. Yeah.
'cause my parents are old. They're in their 80s. But now my grandfather, who died in 94, was in his 80s then. He was 88 then. So
Yeah.
the man would be well into his... He wouldn't be alive. Not in
for
any
sure.
timeline would he be
For
alive.
sure. For sure.
But...
That's it. Yeah.
yeah, that was very, very fun. So, both of us have been to Ireland, haven't we?
Yeah.
We have. What was the first year you went?
03 was the first year
Okay.
I went.
That
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah.
You went with the school, didn't you?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So for I guess those viewers who watched our Tower London episode, it was the same trip that I went for the first time. So we went to Dublin, and then we went to Killarney, and then in the middle we went to Blarney Castle.
Yes, and you kissed the Blarney Stone.
I did.
You were also rocking a fanny pack.
I was.
You looked like you were going to sign autographs or juice up. It was It was like
Maybe both.
Maybe both. You were pretty big back. You were on the gas back then, man. It was very very 90s wrestling.
I was
very
I
Davey
was.
Boy Smith.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you were-
yes, indeed. Nothing so exciting in that fanny pack. I'm going to tell you right now. That's it. Yes, indeed. But no, it was a great trip. It was a great kind of first introduction to Ireland. But again, you got to kind of see you got to see a lot of stuff, but it was sort of very fast. So you know, I got. Actually, I should have brought it out to be part of this episode. It's sitting in my room here on the other side of this wall. But I got like a family crest that matched the one that my grandparents had at their house.
Very cool.
You know, again with the red stag of the McCarthys.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So I went the first and only time. What was it? It'd be January of 2015.
Okay.
It would have been. Yeah.
Right.
I love how I go to all these countries. Went to London in January of 2014. Dublin, Ireland, January 2015. And Edinburgh, Scotland in January of 2019. So all of those British Isles countries in January, which is probably the time people like everything is horrible and the weather and whatnot. But I loved it. Every one of them was unique and great. I had a great time in all of them. And I love that kind of weather. In January that time, it's foggy, it's dark, there's not many people around.
Yeah, that's right.
It's what you want.
Yeah.
And there's no snow, not in any of them. So we were there, I remember, in 2015 in Dublin, and we stayed at a really cool hotel somewhere in the Temple Bar. Are you familiar with Temple Bar?
Yep.
In Dublin?
Yep.
Yeah. So, don't remember. I think it was called the Trinity because it was near Trinity College.
Okay.
It was like the Trinity Hotel, yeah. And anyway, so, pub downstairs or whatever, hotel upstairs, nice 4-star hotel, nothing to brag about, but clean and great. And then we just walked. And you can cover so much ground in Dublin, can't you?
Yes.
And being a book nerd like yourself, Trinity College, were you there?
Yeah, I was in the 03 trip.
That's really cool.
It was.
Yeah, and that's like where Oscar Wilde went. And I bought a copy of James Joyce's book, Dubliners.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a nice like leather bookmark that said Trinity College or whatever. And I think I bought the Picture Dorian Gray too.
Okay,
as well
great.
there. So
Yeah.
I actually did buy some nice books by Irish writers. And what a cool place. And the Book of Kells. Do you remember? Yeah. That was fun with my Swedish wife, and they were blaming the Vikings. They had to hide it because the evil Vikings were coming to destroy it and had to be hidden so many times.
Remember Clontarf?
She was reminded. She was reminded. Let me tell you. We went into a pub, and my lovely wife, I'll have a whiskey ginger ale, please. And the bartender, where's the accent from? I'm from Sweden. Oh, the big bad Vikings are back, are they? Just stare at her down. All 5'2" of Clara. That 6'3", 300-pound bartender. Stared her down while he poured that Guinness for me and made her wait for that whiskey ginger ale. What I did like was Jameson was in the well there. We would never have anything that good in the well in this country. I've been coast to coast. And this is never in the well. This is middle of the shelf at the very least. Yeah. Also Guinness on tap everywhere.
Of course, yeah.
One of our favorite beers. And it's that's nice. They never run out.
No.
Like, there's like a scarcity of Guinness I've heard at the moment too in this friggin' province. Have you heard that?
I have not.
Sources tell me.
Okay.
My sources.
Yes, of course.
My drunk sources tell me that the Guinness is running out in Fredericton, in Capital City. Can you imagine?
Okay,
that?
there you go.
So
that's it.
there you go. So what does that say? But anyway, what else did I see? You saw Book of Kells. Do you remember that? Do you see the little like tiny Bible that was like that big?
I don't recall. I don't believe so.
It was crazy tiny and crazy small and crazy elaborate. Yeah, it was art, Dave. As you're holding
yes,
Guinness.
Indeed, of course, of course.
You're familiar with Book of Kells too? Have you?
Yeah.
You are, yeah. Art history. There you go. This guy knows. The man behind the camera, the one and only Creepy Dave. He's also familiar with Oscar Wilde too, are you? You seem like an Oscar Wilde guy. Yeah.
And James Joyce.
James Joyce, he knows them all. So after we got out of Trinity College, we went on a whiskey tour,
Okay.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
It was more our style of doing because it was funny. I liked how we were going to go to the Jameson tour. Like I said, Jameson's my favorite whiskey. And they were like standing out selling tickets or whatever. And we're like, oh, do you like whiskey? You look like you like whiskey. And I said, sure. Actually, we're planning on going to the Jameson tour later. Oh, you should come on this tour instead. It's better. I'm like, oh, okay. Why is that? You know what I mean? And right to the well, we're closer for one. And when it's all done, you get 4 shots of different whiskeys. Jameson's only going to give you one. It's only going to be theirs. And he goes into like his thing or whatever.
Sure.
And they even promised, it was probably, everybody's going to get this. And like, just for you, sir, just for sir, you, from the top shelf, we got some Bushmills green label. You will add that too, just right now.
Okay.
So okay. So this is,
That's
yeah.
it.
So we got the tour.
I mean, it's not a banana show, but
It's not a banana show, which we didn't get to see.
we did not, because it was too much money.
Too much money. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So if you think we're perverts, that's proof we're not, because we were thinking like good, wholesome Catholic boys here.
Exactly.
We were thinking we can buy more alcohol.
We certainly can.
rather than see some Eastern European woman shoot a banana out of her vagina.
Indeed.
What a life we lived. And
No question about it.
so yeah. Anyway, Clara and I went on this whiskey tour, and it was really cool. They started with like Powers, which we don't really have over here, but Powers. Right. If there's anybody in Ireland, for the love of God, please reach out and say something. Powers, correct me if I'm wrong, is one of their more standard whiskeys over there. Maybe more lower the shelf, whatever. Like I have no idea. If Jameson's in the well, maybe Powers is
right
along that tier or whatever. And then they moved on up, and there was one called the Irishman we moved up to. It was really good. And then there was something Gaelic sounding, which I cannot pronounce.
Sure.
Although we're Irish, we cannot pronounce anything Gaelic.
No, of course.
You probably can more than I can, but I can't do anything. And then finally it did end, of course, with the Bushmills green label, which was, I just know it goes the original and then the Black Bush and the green labels after that somewhere. And all very good. Tour guide was super fun, and they talked about. I liked how they shit on the Kennedys. I really did like that,
Right.
And and they were saying about like the Kennedys, Joe Kennedy, and all that. And we're setting them up like the bootlegging empire and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then I loved the word twisted, but but the hell with him. It was Scotch whiskey he was selling. He wasn't even selling the stuff from here.
Yeah, that's it.
Because again, like everything, what did it involve? Tariffs and trade agreements and all that bullshit. The British Empire, of course, Scotland, part of Britain, the connections and the money talked, and that's why Scotch, and I'm going to make enemies, but I don't give a shit at this point. I love Irish whiskey, 100 times more than Scotch.
There you go. Yeah.
Scotch can be so over the top, and unless you really know what you're doing, it can be, why am I eating charcoal right now? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or it can be so sweet or mellow or whatever. But Irish whiskey, you can follow it a little bit better, I would say.
Yeah.
So let's talk about whiskey. Where did we go after that? Went to the Guinness Brewery. Okay. You've been at the Guinness Brewery too, correct?
I never threw.
Oh, never threw.
I was by, but never threw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Clara and I were there. This was in January. I think we still waited in line half an hour to get in or something.
Okay, I bet.
I'm so glad I wasn't there in July. Big building. I think it's like 6, maybe 7 stories or whatever. You go through all the history. There's a gift shop, of course, and all that sort of thing. And then you get to the top, and that's where the bar is. And it was packed. Like everybody was there. And and you get like a Guinness to be able to get this view all over Dublin, all that sort of thing. And there's no tables involved, but of course I'm there with my beautiful wife, so of course somebody offers their table to her, and I come along and like, oh, she's taking, and anyway, we just looked it over Dublin or whatever, and then we did the pour course or whatever it is, where you pour the Guinness and you get like a certificate at the end. Whether you do it right or not, like I feel there should be more, really shame the people that don't do it right. Needs more shame.
Yeah.
So anyway, fun time. I remember that. Brazen Head we went to, oldest pub, at least they told us in. Have you been to that one?
I think we were there in 03. I might be wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it's sometime in the 1100s. I don't know the exact
I think so.
year,
Yeah, you're right.
As hell.
Yeah.
And the floor is like cobblestones. They're all wobbly and what. And what was fun about that, there was an old guy at the bar that like knew the history of the place and just started telling it to us. Yeah, and just a patron, not a tour guide at all. and was so passionate. He actually like took the thing and like, this and talked about it. I remember the stew was so good too. Like they did, I think like 2 things or whatever. And I remember some German guy like, "We've come from Berlin. We'd like to try a local beer." And he's like, "We have Guinness right there," and points to the the brewery, which is right outside the door at that point. Yeah,
doesn't get more local than that.
It doesn't get more local than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun times. What else did we do there? We did a bunch of things. I'm doing all the dominating the conversation.
Well, that's no trouble.
Yeah.
That's no trouble.
So
I was there twice more.
You were there twice more. Let's hear about your stories then. 'Cause mine all involved drinking, as you can tell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was there again in 2011 and once more in 2016.
Oh.
So in 2011, I was there for research for my dissertation, which is another story for another time.
Let's do a deep dive on that.
Exactly.
We're putting that one behind a paywall.
For sure. But I remember that one. I was in Dublin and I was in Belfast in 2011, and that was a real experience for sure. Because in Belfast, I got to visit where the Titanic was built and all of that. The trip to Dublin was pretty quick. The one thing I remember is I went to this church on Bachelor's Walk, and I remember it was the most intense.
Bachelor's Walk.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think I was at a pub called The Bachelor that was
Yeah.
along that area.
Yeah. I remember the sign outside, and it says, "Though you may have come to pray, P-R-A-Y."
Yes.
Some of our patrons have come to pray, P-R-E-Y, so watch all of your stuff.
That's hilarious. Wow. Intense as well.
And the most intense priest I've
Nice.
And it was from the Gospel of Matthew. The basically the judgment, the final judgment, the sheep and the goats. If you've done it for the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you've done it for me. And I remember him, when he preached afterward, and he said, when have you who fed the hungry these times, and just when have you who clothed the naked these times? And I just thought, and and his hair was like all real close cropped, and he was, just a young guy, but very intense, very intense.
Wow.
Yeah,
you gotta try harder when you're punching up.
I guess
the men behind the wire.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I remember, and Belfast was an interesting experience because although, like I say, these. Today, obviously, things are much better than what they were. There's certainly a lot of remnants of the troubles.
The
and all
troubles,
that.
you can see all that.
You can still see a lot of that. I remember walking somewhere, and I remember the barbed wire all around me.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it was like a bridge over traffic.
Okay.
And then, but the barbed wire all around, and anyway. But like I say, probably just a remnant of that time. In 2016, it was just right after I visited.
Yes.
Clara and yourself. I had gone to Germany. I got to Hamburg, where I was erroneously told by a certain individual to go to the night market.
That guy, creepy Dave.
But it turned out it was he was referring to Cologne and not Hamburg,
because he doesn't know where he is.
Well, no, it's an honest mistake. But it was the largest red light district in all of Europe.
Okay.
That I got a chance to walk through
As a single guy.
That's right. Anyway, but I was so impressed when I went in 2016 because, of course, that was the anniversary of the Easter Rising.
Yes.
And everywhere you went, there was something. I went to see a play and at the theater there, and I'm blanking on the name, which is terrible.
Remember you talked about this play?
Yeah. It was Anna Karenina.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Tolstoy novel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I can't remember the name of the theater. That's terrible. Anyway, we'll put it up on the screen if we can. If I can remember it. But again, it talked about like what plays were on. Easter 1916. Who were the actors that were involved in the Rising? Which ones died? And everywhere you went, when I went to Mass, again, it talked about like the priests that came and gave confession to the rebels and all of this. So it was really interesting. I always thought, of course, at that time we were going into Canada 150. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if every little place had like what was going on here in 1867? Anyway, alas, that wasn't the case.
Of course not, because we suck at that sort of thing.
But yeah, and I got a chance to go on the bus tour for the Easter Rising. And again, that was such a spectacular experience. Only 2 actors. They played all the parts, but it was magnificent.
Really?
You know, and they interacted with you, you know, as if you were there in 1916. It was a great experience.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you know. And I walked to Kilmainham Jail. I walked from where I was staying. And again, I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit sentimental of me. And but I mean, you just kind of stand there where those executions took place. You know, it was an interesting experience for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Claire and I walked through like outside it. I remember on the way or something. But we didn't actually go in the jail itself. But yeah, that would be something.
And I got I bought a poster like the proclamation that. Yeah. That's it. The Pierce read out, you know what I mean, and the posters with the Declaration of the Irish Republic and all that, and a book on the Rising itself. So it was good. Yeah.
No, I remember when we were talking about the uprising in Dublin, the bank. Did you ever the bank that like Collins and the crowd took over? It's
the General Post Office.
Yeah. Did you go on that?
Yeah. I did, yeah. And
gotcha.
that's where the tour started and where it ended.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You start there with kind of the Rising, and at the end of it, the bus parks right outside the GPO, and then the lights all go out, and you can hear the British shelling the whole place, and the bus rocks back and forth. It's amazing.
Nice, cool, yeah. And then somewhere around there, there's the bank, like a piano bar, a really good high-end restaurant and stuff too, which is an honor. And that's funny because you go inside and you'll see like the big paintings of Collins on the wall and stuff like this.
There you go.
It's like, wow, yeah, this ain't woke. And it's something in that military uniform, you know what I mean?
Sure,
yeah. It's Michael Collins whiskey too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Was that one of the few times I was told how the proper way to drink whiskey was by the bartender to give it to me. You know, just like you got to like really savor it and stuff like that. We're not doing that anymore. But it was like, but you really like
drink it like there's a hole in the glass.
Drink it like there's a hole in the glass. Yeah. Drink her like someone's gonna steal her from you.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
But yeah, no, it was really, really cool spot. And the food too. Like again, Irish food sucks. Like around here. O'Donoghue's is good. But, you know what I mean? So much of like, even, I don't care. The food I kind of grew up with or whatever, it felt like, you know, like we said, there's corned beef and cabbage and stuff like that. But the food in Dublin was phenomenal. And I remember that was like that and Warsaw. I got to say, of all the countries I was in Europe, I was in, I think, 10 altogether.
Okay.
2 cities that would probably fool you, Dublin and Warsaw. And it might have something to do with starvation. I'm just thinking.
I don't know.
They had the best food. And Dublin, Clara and I remember were walking again through Temple Bar somewhere, this cozy little, Clara's favorite word, cozy. There's a guy playing like, you know, Star of the County Down or something. Right. And that's something else we can't do in this town is play dinner music properly. This guy's playing it, you know, just right. And I kid you not, as she's walking by, he turns and like starts, the sheen of her brown hair. And just like, and she smiled at me and he starts singing like to her at the window. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's turning it on. And she's like, I want to go in here. And the guy's fucking hot too. I'd fuck him after 3 or 4 drinks. And anyway, we go in, and the food was...
How does the story end?
You never know. Sketchy old Tom! What did he do in theater school? Anyway, so it wasn't theater school, it was film school. Big difference. Movie school. There you go. You're wasting your life in movie school. Anyway, so we go in and...
But you do it in fewer years, Tom.
You do it in fewer years. This guy wasted his life on a PhD.
That's it.
At the end of the day... You got a meaningless piece of paper, kids. And
or you can get 3.
This took a dark turn. It's time to refill this glass.
We are a sorrowful people.
We are sorrowful people. Some wisdom my grandfather, God rest his soul, Edward Daly, said, probably when Farrell was trying to get us to go to the Irish Festival. He said one time, I remember as a kid, and I never forgot it, you know, the Irish love to see one another go under. Just right out of the blue.
Do.
And I 110% agree with that. in this town. Yeah, no, the food was so good in Dublin at this restaurant. We did like this 3-course meal.
Okay.
Fantastic. The
Right.
best mussels we ever had for the opening course. They'd taken.
Oh wow.
Yeah, turn on like they're going to kill me if there's any Irish person watching this, but like a beef Wellington, something similar to that. No, beef Wellington's English, but it was
sure.
an Irish variation of that, I feel like. And and of course the Guinness chocolate brownie sort of thing we had at the end or whatever. Yeah, phenomenal, great service. Intense waiter also.
Oh, really?
I like that because I said it's a nice spot here, and I remember him leaning on the chair, kind of like this. It is a nice spot, isn't it? He just kind of stared at me like that because I don't know if he thought he was being sarcastic or what. But I'm like, yeah, no, I really like it. And he's like, oh yeah, can I fill your glass? Can I? Or something like that. I'm like, yeah, you sure can. Cheers. It was kind of
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the few times that it's a nice spot here. Could start a fight.
But I will say, I mean, at least from my experience, certainly there were some intense people, by and large. Like, I mean, such friendly folks. Anybody that I interacted
You found,
with,
did you?
For the most part. For the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were all,
It must have been Clara then, because I remember
Maybe.
I was like, because her somebody had told her, a Swedish guy actually, said like, oh yeah, the people in Ireland are so friendly or something, and then but it just felt like I don't know if we hit them on an off day or what. That was 2015. I think they just discovered some sketchy Catholic priest shenanigans around that time or whatever was in the news, and maybe everybody was a little bitter about that. But again, maybe it's Clara's Swedish accent because they got an ear for accents, and the Vikings are still not well loved, are they?
Maybe that's fair. That's fair. But no, like I say, when I went there, and again, maybe it's just because I'm just some lad traveling alone and whatever, and again, I don't find. But some other people find that that my accent is
I could see
a
that.
little
yeah
muddled enough that maybe
enough that maybe they can smell the Irish off you a little
maybe
bit,
I don't know but that's it. But I remember when I checked into where I was staying, and I mean when I travel I often just kind of stay in like hostels and whatever, just a bit.
You do.
Room,
I could not do that. I'm too spoiled. I gotta.
Well, no,
I don't do Airbnbs either. I feel like you're gonna wind up dead.
But I remember the guy, just fall all over himself. Oh, good man yourself. Oh, you're such a good lad. Whatever. And you're just so friendly.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Irish definitely have a sharpness to them for sure, like the real Irish, not the paddywhackery,
No, sure.
crowd that we're used to. Because I bartended with some Irish guys, and I remember we were talking about like said Tom Daly or whatever. Tom Daly, and they call over the other Irish guy. Come look at this lad's name's Tom Daly. Somebody looks like Tom Daly from Tipperary. Doesn't he? Yes, he does. He looks like a Tom Daly I knew back in Kilkenny. Oh yeah, come over here, Liam. What does he look like? I think he looks like that Tom Daly from over in Meath one time I saw. Oh yeah. Well, there's just one problem with the lad. What do you think? No, he's Irish. He's Irish, 100% Irish. I can tell. No, he's not. You know what? There's something wrong. He's a North American Irish, and you can tell he's North American Irish. You know why? He's too fucking fat. He's too fucking fat. You can tell his family, his relatives got out of here when the food ran out because he's too fucking fat. So it's just...
Well, there you go. There you go. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
But... but it was a good time. They'll take the piss out of you, and they can take it as good as they can give it to us. The thing,
That's right.
Because you know what I did, boy? I leaned into the other part of the family. The names like Wallace and Hutchinson and Schofield, and and they kind of like that in a weird way too.
Fair enough. It's weird because part of my family are the Englishes who are Irish.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, like Bowen, my mom's Latin maiden name or whatever, and they'll pretend they're Irish too. And this was, if you like bullshit, I heard this story that some tried to claim, it's actually, they're related to Brendan Behan, because everybody's looking to be related to somebody famous. Like, it's supposed to be Behan, and no, it's always been Bowen. And it was even, we found something in the States where it was actually spelled B-O-W-A-N, and then it got changed to B-O-H-A-N. And then somebody said, ooh, that's German. So then I think they really leaned in really hard to the...
right.
And saying you're related to Brendan Behan or whatever. But, again, at the very most, from what I've saw, the name started in England.
Right.
And, of course... those English were good at moving around the globe, weren't they?
Certainly were.
And somehow it made its way to Ireland by the the conquering times there, sometime in the Middle Ages, and sprang up, of course, from there. Landed Irish, whatever you want to call them. So yeah.
No, sure.
And so the family trees, interesting things to climb. And I'm not too into it. People are into family trees too much. Really do piss me off. I start lying to them. I tell them I related to the Elephant Man and everything, just to get them to leave me alone.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like the stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
if you get like a good story, it's like, oh, can I take this and make a play out of it and make money? That's
sure. That's
what it all comes down to. But
Yeah. No, that's it. Well, like I say, like the original Dinny, not Long Dinny, not Short Dinny.
What about Black Dinny? Let's talk about Black Dinny. Oh, Black Dinny, damn right. Oh, Black Dinny.
Yeah, there was. He was also there too. I guess just that's it.
It's his family owned slaves. That's why he was called Black Dinny. I'm kidding.
No. He was just slightly less white.
Yeah.
I guess. It was that's it.
That lad got a little bit tan on a hot day in July.
I guess so. That's it.
His hair was a little bit brown towards black. So he became Black Dinny. Yeah.
I guess so. So I was told. But apparently, original Dinny and Honora, who lived in the Semi-Wagon Ridge.
Oh, interesting. Related to Honora Daly?
Yep. Well, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
She was a Driscoll
originally.
Okay. And apparently she come from money.
Okay.
But she was going to be married to a sea captain, and he decided he wasn't going to marry her. He was going to marry some other woman. And I can't get mad at him. You know what I mean? He rejected my great-great-great-grandmother, but without him, I guess I wouldn't be here. So, that's it. So anyway, that's it. Apparently the idea was that her father didn't want her to kind of be shamed in public. So apparently if she married, original Dennis McCarthy, he would pay their way over here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that was the idea.
Stories like that are cool.
Yeah. So those sorts of things, what I mean? The fact that
do a play about that.
I think that'd be a really interesting
sexual intrigue.
Well, there you go. That's it. Apparently, she tried to kind of keep that, I don't want to say aristocratic, but I guess like maybe that more kind of well-to-do aspect. She had a tea set that she brought with her.
Oh, yeah.
So I often think about my great-great-great-grandmother, when I tell the story, I guess. You know what I mean? In the Semi-Wagon Ridge in 1830, just, trying to kind of keep that...
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know that you would have got a whole lot of support for that.
You wouldn't get a whole lot of support at all.
For that sort of thing, because I don't think Semi-Wagon Ridge in 1830 probably much like today, probably doesn't have a whole lot of time for ostentation.
No,
so
that's true. Yeah.
And my great-great-great-grandfather, who probably was traveling from place to place with a portable forge during work, was probably a little bit more akin to the attitude of the Semi-Wagon Ridge of that time,
Exactly, yeah.
But that's nice. It. But a lot of interesting stories. I would say I like those a little bit more than sort of, who begat who.
Who begat who, yeah. Exactly, yeah. We want the dirt. Give us something. Give us something. Tell us a story.
It makes those people real.
It does, right? Yeah. Good, bad, otherwise. You need something there. You need conflict all the time to keep life interesting. And so... Lots of stories, Shawn, that we shared. Personal ones on this one.
Exactly.
And so what do you say?
And the Irish flag stayed up.
The Irish flag stayed up when the Union Jack wilted after the first 5 or 10 minutes of that podcast.
That's
I don't know what it was anymore. It was the Boer War one, I think.
The Boer War one.
Yeah,
that's it.
Still our most viewed podcast, the Boer War. So help us out. Watch this one instead. Don't let the South Africans win. Watch this one instead, which is Who's More Irish? Share, and share. This guy is president of the Irish Canadian Cultural Association. So I hope to God they're watching this right now. And
outgoing.
The outgoing. There we go. Yeah. And if your last name is anything, watch this. And by all means, comment. We're not going to answer the question, who's more Irish today? We want you to do that in the comments
It's gym
section.
class. Everybody wins.
No, you're going to fight till the death. Only one of us can be a winner, and you have to decide. There'll be a poll on Instagram, I think. and fight it out in the comments on YouTube. Choose a side. You're choosing sides and everything else. So
Just keep me close. That's all I'm asking. Just keep me close. Don't let it be a blowout. That's all I'm asking. Just try. You know what I mean? Keep me in the fight. That's all I'm asking.
there we go. Yeah. Yeah, poll on Instagram, YouTube comments, fight, yell at each other.
Popularity contest, I don't have a prayer. But anyway.
Send this to people you hate. I don't care. And get as many people as possible to watch this. And pick a side. Who do you like better? Who do you think is more Irish? Is it sketchy old Tom Daly? Or is it the Doctor of History, Sean McCarthy? You decide, folks. You decide. Our fate is in your hands. And please like, share, subscribe. Do all that good stuff.
Indeed.
Hit the bell. The bell is your friend. The bell is our friend. Who else is our friend? The man behind the camera, Creepy Dave. He's been watching the whole time, and he's also a fantastic artist. Check out Coffee Doodles by David Jardine on YouTube. There is a link in the description below.
Very good. Yeah. So, and of course, like I say, by the time you're watching this, spring has sprung, I'm sure. At least I hope it has. And our schedule of events for Character Matters Miramichi is fast approaching. We're going to have a very busy late spring and a very, very busy summer. So we hope to see you at a number of events that we're going to be having. Of course, starting with Whispers and Wedding Bells, a local play about a wedding, an Irish wedding.
No drinking.
Indeed. So at the end of May 30th, 31st, and June 1st, June 12th, we'll be at Ritchie's Wharf with Echoes of Newcastle talking about that community as it traveled through the 19th century and beyond. Of course, Tom will be hosting people at Middle Island, the Irish Historic Park, talking about the famine ship Lustock and the arrival of hundreds of Irish migrants in 1847. And of course, you will see the Irishman Paddy Perry, among others, on the Headless Nun Tour starting June the 30th. And of course, we'll be in Blackville, another community that's certainly been touched by Irish migration.
Peter Ryan.
Indeed. Yeah, we'll be talking about the Dungarvan Hooper starting July the 5th, I believe. So we look forward to seeing you at all of those events. And, of course, between now and then, we will certainly look forward to seeing you next week as well.
Cheers, everybody. Slant. Am I saying that right?
I believe so. Good umaga.
What?
That's thank you.
I think. Okay, good.
I think.
Yeah.